Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. If you are unfamiliar in regards to the campaign against the troubled teen industry or the Stop the Shocks campaign, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. In particular, I would like you to take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by Autistics for Autistics, where they interviewed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read this so much. They have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, folks, so please read that article and share it on all your social media. Trigger warnings. Oh, also included. Blah. NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding in case the JRC actually sees through with their threat. Trigger warning number 1. When we talk about places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center and Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities and people with mental health issues being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, folks, please go ahead and utilize those headphones, all right? All right. Folks, this channel, second warning, bleh, second. This channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We do use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. So if your child is 16 and younger and they're watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised, all right? Excuse me, allergies. All right, folks. So, federalism concerns. While our analysis thus far has been focused on the text of this section of 396, the statute's role in preserving the balance of the powers between the federal government and the states provides further support for our conclusion. It provides nothing. Your analysis did not take anything into account except the JRC talking points. At no point in the entirety of this overblown article, your so called decision, has anything shown me or convinced me that you did any form of homework in regards to the decision made by the FDA in 2020. When I read this particular document, it actually makes me believe you did not read anything at all in regards to the FDA decision, read anything at all in regards to the hearings and their documents that brought them to that conclusion. Their justification, anything, literally anything. You are basing your decision based off of what the JRC is telling you the FDA is doing, not what they actually did. Your conclusion is based on nothing. Just wanted to make that clear. The Constitution created a federal government of limited powers. Oh my God, this was written by Republicans. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but Jesus. The general government is not to be charged with the whole power of making and administering laws. Its jurisdiction is limited to certain enumerated objects which concern all members of the Republic, but which are not to be attained by the separate provisions of any. They are not overstepping their bounds, DC. Okay? Republicans, look me in the face and tell me that you read a single document from any of the multitudes the FDA provided to you in regards to their decision. You can't. because you are inferring things on them that they never did. You're trying to say, but they're tailoring use for this device that they already approved, a device they never actually approved, and that is stated quite clearly multiple times throughout the FDA hearing documents, as well as cited in the FDA 2020 decision. Okay? Okay. The Federalist number 14, James Madison. Oh, dear God. Okay, whenever Republicans get caught being stupid, they will cite the founding fathers like clockwork, even if referencing them has nothing to do with the subject at hand here. Courts have recognized that the bedrock principles since the earliest years of the Republic, dear God, of the legislator are defined and limited, and those limits may not be mistaken or forgotten. The Constitution is written. Oh my God, are you kidding me? This is going to be a short video. By banning the GED device, the FDA is acting within the authority invested into it by you, the federal government. They are not trying to tailor anything. They are not trying to say by banning the device in regards to a restriction for one particular use. No. You'll see that nowhere inside their 2020 decision. They are trying to ban a device that has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt to provide substantial risk of harm. Something that is very much within its authority to do. You are using arguments that an item that they approved previously that is now being banned for a specific use is prohibited by federal law, but what you're not seeming to understand is the current device in question was never at any point approved by the FDA in any capacity at all. This isn't tailoring. It's a full out ban. They're not trying to abuse their power. They're not trying to claim they have lesser powers to tailor. They are trying to act within the capacity and with the power that you all invested them with. Okay? What your decision says is you don't give a shit about disabled people. You don't care if we're tortured. You don't care if we're starved. You don't care if we're sleep deprived or jumped. You don't care that a device is putting numerous disabled kids in a hospital bed with second and third degree burns, loss of feeling in the appendages that those electrodes are attached to. You don't care that these kids are coming in to ERs with not a single piece of skin that is unbruised. None of that matters. You don't care about the evidence that the FDA shows you in that 2020 decision. The evidence that they cited, the ER documents, the medical records, the psych records. You just care that someone went after the JRC. What they won't tell you, but something I did my homework on in the early 2000s, is that the JRC has lined the political war chests of not just state officials and courts, but also on a federal level. I know because I did the homework. This tells me something I already knew, granted as an idea in my head, that these people are corrupt as hell and they don't care who they hurt on their freaking desperate grab onto power. Okay? None of these judges read the decision made in 2020. As I read this entire insane decision, it becomes clearer and clearer with every single word that they say. It is very obvious to me that they do not know that the current GED device being used at the JRC was never approved by the FDA. They are making their decisions on pure ignorance, and they're expecting all of us to swallow it. Trigger warning, you're about to see an offensive movement of hands, but all I got to say to that is because we won't stop. We won't ever stop until those kids are free from the torture that they're going through right now. We're going to close on that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit those comments. I do appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. I will see you next time. Bye bye, everyone.